Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 385 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. 10th meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group in the Ramstein format took place yesterday online, reports Interfax Ukraine. United States Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said while opening a virtual meeting that 9 countries have already agreed to send more than 150 Leopard tanks to Ukraine. After the meeting, he stressed that the participants reaffirmed their unity in support of Ukraine's struggle for freedom. Sweden has announced that it will provide Ukraine with 10 Leopard tanks and key components for air defense. Norway is cooperating with the United States to transfer 2 NASAMS systems to Ukraine. The Netherlands is making significant progress in initiating new contracts to ensure the delivery of new weapons to the battlefield, said Austin. The US Defense Secretary thanks Slovenia for the latest contribution, which will help meet several priority needs of Ukraine, including armored vehicles. According to the official, the participants of Ramstein will help Ukraine in the future to receive tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and other armored vehicles, as well as urgently train the Ukrainian military in new capabilities. Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles confirmed that Ukraine will receive 4 more Leopard 2 tanks, in addition to the 6 already promised by Madrid, plus a new batch of M113 armored personnel carriers, reports European Pravda. Canada's Defense Minister Anita Anand announced a new package of military aid for Ukraine as well. Canada will provide Ukraine with about 8,000 rounds of artillery ammunition, 12 anti-aircraft missiles from the Canadian Armed Forces inventory, 1,800 rounds of tank training ammunition to support the Leopard 1 tanks being supplied by Denmark, Germany, and the Netherlands. Defense Minister of Ukraine Oleksiy Reznikov said that the results of the meeting inspire optimism. He said that there were decisions to continue strengthening air defense, ammo supplies, trainings, and forming an armored fist. He thanked the U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin for his outstanding leadership and also expressed gratitude to friends from the anti-Kremlin coalition. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky thanked Ramstein participants for their support, which is especially important now when we feel that the Russian aggression is approaching the point where it can break. According to the president, there is no terrorist that can build up its potential in confronting the free world. Russia is no exception. The more pressure we put on them, the faster we will move towards restoring our territorial integrity and international legal order, stressed Zelensky. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. Also, if you like what we do and want to tip us, you can now do so directly to our PayPal. Check out the link in the description to this episode for more details. Your support inspires us. Denmark announced plans to establish a fund worth over $1 billion for military, civil, and business assistance to Ukraine in 2023, reports Militarny. According to the Danish government, the fund will include 3 parts. The first part of $767 million will consist of military support through delivering weapons, other military equipment, and personnel training. The second part of $170 million will provide civilian support aimed at acute humanitarian problems as well as long-term reconstruction. The third part of $57 million will be spent on support for business initiatives that enable Danish companies to contribute to the reconstruction of Ukraine. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky thanked Denmark for establishing this fund. He said that support of Ukraine will bring our common victory over the aggressor and the return of peace to Europe closer. According to the UK delegation to the OSCE, the Russian regular troops and the Wagner Group lost 20,000 to 30,000 killed and wounded in the battles for Bakhmut since May 2022, reports Ukrinform. At the same time, total advance of Russian forces in the area was about 25 kilometers. Separately, delegation representative indicated that apparently Russia is running out of missile reserves. This is evidenced by the increasing intervals with which the Russian Federation strikes the critical infrastructure of Ukraine. According to him, the issue of providing the Russian troops with equipment is just as urgent. Russia suffered huge losses of heavy armored vehicles, which forced it to deploy 60-year-old T-62 main battle tanks to the front. The UK Supreme Court denied Russia in making a summary judgment in a case on the recovery of Ukraine's debt on bond with a nominal value of $3 billion, reports Interfax Ukraine. The case will be sent for a full public trial. The Ukrainian side considers the decision a victory as it will allow Ukraine to present its own evidence. The bonds worth $3 billion were issued by the Yanukovych administration and bought by Russia. Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal considers the decision of the UK Supreme Court an important victory for Ukraine over Russia on the international front. According to the Prime Minister, the court recognized the strong position of the defense of Ukraine regarding coercion and threats of Russia to use force, which the Russian Federation carried out back in 2013 to force Ukraine to issue these Eurobonds. Highlights from Ukraine is an uncommercial initiative of just two people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the apps, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.